We're back with another Bedrock beta. Today is beta 1.20.2020. That is a lot of 20s. So I think that means 1.20.10 is now ready to release, and it should release within the next 2-3 weeks. But inside of this actual beta, it's not a very big one. There are some changes to the recipe notifications, so let's quickly just cover them. So the first change, the recipe sound will now be the same as Java Edition, and also the time the notifications stay on your screen is dependent on how many recipes you unlock. So if we now pick up these, as you can see, the notifications stay on our screen and it will flash through all of them. And you could have also heard the sound effect that is now played. And the length that they stay on screen is depending on how many you unlock. If you unlock a load, it will stay on screen for a lot less. If you only unlock 1 or 2, they might stay on screen for a bit longer. There are some other changes which I can't really show off, but we will quickly cover them. So command line autocomplete has now been added for recipe unlocking, useful to see what recipes you can unlock. The order of command inputs was changed to match Java Edition. You'll also get a confirmation message when unlocking recipes with a command. It will inform you if you basically unlock the recipe or not. And then obviously you have the sound one and also the duration one. They've also fixed a bug when you are crouching under 1.5 blocks. If you was standing on a snow layer when doing it, it would say that your hitbox was too big and you wouldn't be able to. As you can see, that is now fixed and you can still crawl under them or crouch under them when there is a snow layer on the floor. Along with this, snow layers have also had an update, so the bigger they are, the hitbox will now change in size all the way up to the full block of snow layers. So as you can see, if we actually walk on these, our player is slowly being risen up as we go up the snow layers. I think this is a parity to match Java Edition, but as you can see, each snow layer has its own unique height now, which is pretty cool and could be used for certain aspects of the game. The next change, which is for wandering traders. Wandering traders will now have a chance to sell you a cherry sapling. I actually got lucky and got it first time, but it's not guaranteed to have the cherry sapling, as you can see. So you can now get the chance, and it is 5 emeralds for 1 sapling. So this is another way to get cherry saplings without having to actually go and explore the biome. And it's also useful for things like skyblock. There was actually a bug within the game where you could duplicate falling blocks using boats if there was an air block below the boat. So that has now been fixed, and if we quickly just move this boat all the way up, if a falling blocks are blocks that have gravity, if a falling block now falls onto a boat, it will now be broken. So I think the duplication bug that was involved with this is fixed. I'm not 100% sure though, as I don't exactly know how it was created. I just knew it was something to do with falling blocks falling onto the boat. This is also the same with anvils and all blocks that have gravity. Concrete, gravel, or at least concrete powder, gravel, and obviously suspicious blocks, but they break when falling on anything. A bug has also been fixed that if you are in creative mode and you stand in fire, you will now be ignited on fire, although you won't actually take damage from it. I don't exactly know why this is a thing, but it's been fixed because apparently before you wouldn't be ignited. You're only ignited for a split second though, as you can see, but that is now something that's changed. If you were in spectator mode, there was a bug where you'd get forced into sneaking or crawling mode. That is now fixed, and you should no longer be forced into the mode when in spectator mode. And when riding an entity, there was also a thing where you would stay in crawling or sneaking mode. When you get on to an entity that can be ridden, like pigs, striders, anything like that, it will now force you back into the normal player pose. There was also a bug where sometimes Minecraft Bedrock servers wouldn't register you as crawling. I don't exactly know what this means. I don't know if it means you'd take damage or anything like that. But the game should now always register you crawling when you are within the crawling mode. And there was also a bug where you would be unintentionally put into the crawling pose even though you didn't want to crawl. I don't exactly know what the cases were there, but that has now also been fixed. Also, another bug that has been fixed is if you're in Elytra gliding mode and you fly within creative mode, it will instantly cancel out the gliding of your Elytra to then put you into flying mode. This is only for creative though, because obviously you can't fly in survival. But I think this is a good change, because there was quite a few times where I'd be gliding and then I'd try and fly and you have to land before you could fly again. There was also a bug where if you would pick block a decorated pot, it wouldn't actually tell you what was on the pot within the tooltips. As you can see, that is now fixed, and the tooltip will show you exactly what is on the decorated pot, even when pick blocking. There was also a thing where suspicious stew would show up in the creative inventory. Apparently that was a bug, and that wasn't intentional. Suspicious stew has now been removed from the creative inventory, and you can only get it from chests and also /give. There was also something inside of the game when you actually have a villager that can trade you an item. So if you're holding, say, an emerald and they would give you a book for that emerald, if you was to kill them, why they add the item in their hand. So this one should hold shears. Yes, as you can see, if you was to kill them with the shears in their hand, they would drop the shears. That is no longer the case, and they will now not drop anything, even if they are holding the item. There are also a load of audio fixes inside of this actual update, which I'm not going to go through all of them, but a few of them are when you actually break a nether portal by breaking the obsidian. So if you had yourself a nether portal and you broke the obsidian block, it will now play the portal break sound, which is a good addition. There are also quite a lot of technical changes within inside of this actual beta. Once again, I'm not going to be covering all of these. You guys can read the patch notes. They will be linked in the description if you do want to read them. And there are some experimental technical features as well. Not as many of them, though. There are also some changes or fixes to mobile touch control, joystick visibility option to a drop-down menu, and they've changed sneak option to a drop-down menu as well. There are also some user interface changes and also some input changes. But here is all the audio changes. Missing Thorns damage sound has been added and is played when appropriate. I don't exactly know what Missing Thorns damage means. Anvils now emit the proper sound when breaking, stepped on or fallen on. Skeletons and drowns now play sounds when firing arrows or tridents. Trident channeling sound is now played when entities are hit. Empty maps now emit the appropriate sound when players draw them. And another one we covered, loyalty tridents returning to the player now play their sound at the player's position. Big drip leaf now play the correct sound when their tilt is reset. Conduits now play a deactivating sound. And respawn anchors that now play the correct ambient sound. And one more gameplay change that I haven't been able to cover. The third person camera will no longer clip through terrain when near water or lava. But that is it for this Bedrock beta / preview. It's once again a very small one. There isn't anything too major, but I think it's obviously now moving into the start of the 1.20 update. Nope, the 1.20.20 update. And maybe we might see some bigger, more game-changing things later on. We shouldn't see anything insanely new because obviously it is a point update and not a full release. But anyway, if you did enjoy, leave a like and subscribe, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!